One good either.
Sundays and Wednesdays, yeah. 8 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It's the crew and you. Let's go.
You can't get any better.
Best thing about it, the way he did it the right way.
With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
Do y'all have anything to say about
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. Congratulations to my dog, Chuck Little John, the OG.
Y'all didn't know I've been changing hats all night, have you?
No.
You've been doing that. And so look, let me tell you, those dudes were the first one that I ever seen with the full track suit and no drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Understand that you can be at the bottom, you can be anything you want to be, and when that happens, you can be a champion like me.
Can you imagine 100 people just all yelling?
With the crew and you, to the crew and you. With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. It's your boy G. On my right-hand side, we got OG Commander's #1 fan, Chuck Littlejohn. And underneath us both, we got Decatur's Concussion Protocol, Corey Davis. Hey, happy football Sunday, fellas. How are y'all doing, baby? What up?
Doing good.
Yeah. We all right.
Just all right?
I'm okay. I'm okay, you know.
Okay. Well, let's welcome everybody to the channel. Everybody out there on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. Twitch is actually working today, man. So we have that up, man. So if y'all are on there, make sure y'all hit the follow button and make sure y'all like and subscribe or subscribe to the channel, man. We appreciate you all. Do the same thing on YouTube. We have a great show, man. We got a great show. We're going to do the NFL recap. We're going to do the college football recap. We're going to talk a little bit about this Miami Dolphins situation, man. This Tua protocol, concussion protocol, as my guy's name says it right there. I want to jump into this and hear you all's thoughts about this. And then we'll touch on a couple other topics, man, that we've missed over the past, I guess, couple episodes. All right.
We still having no doke in this thing either, huh?
We still having no doke in this thing, bro.
Okay. I got you,
man. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's start in college football, fellas. Start in college football. And let's start with your Georgia Bulldogs, big dog.
Woo!
Tough one.
Look here.
Dude, talk to me.
Look here. I'm watching this game, and it was a fierce Missouri squad that came to play ball. Listen to me. Which brought out, the resilience of a true champion. And I'm glad, that they were able to, get the W. But look here. Either we aren't as tough as I think we are, or Missouri has been overlooked. That 2-2 squad came with a little bit of ferocity. You know what I'm saying? They had an answer. Now, this is my take on it. So my QB was having a bad day. I ain't saying a terrible day. He was just having a hard run at it. You know what I'm saying? As far as making it happen. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I had to say to myself, all right, was it my QB? Was it Georgia, by itself, or was that Missouri team just way highly underrated? Either way it go, they brought out a ferociousness and a lot of toughness. And it was just, they ran out of time, and Georgia was just a bit stronger in the fourth. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So big ups to MO, they came with it, and it kept us in the running. You know what I'm saying? It kept us in the running. So it was tough, bro. It was tough. They played us hard. I'm just glad that they took a W with that. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. I was flipping back and forth to a game that was going on, and I throw this back to you, my Florida State. I was flipping back and forth to that game. So I was able to, come out with a W. Nevertheless, I'll turn this to you as to what happened to Florida State. You know, but if now my bad. If you guys want to comment on the Georgia game, that's fine. But then I'll I'll back your way too. So,
well, I'll start with your Georgia Bulldogs first, man. And I, last week we said, going against Kent State, they just overlooked Kent State. I don't want to say they overlooked Mizzou too. I think Mizzou playing at home they felt a little confident in what they was doing, man. And I think they built confidence over time, and it showed. But still, Georgia to go on the road and play in what ended up being a tough environment.
SEC,
it's still coming out with the dub is tremendous. I want to say Mizzou hasn't beat a number one team. I want to say ever, a number one ranked team ever. So it still holds true to this day. But they fought hard. I know one of my Cowboys writers is a huge Mizzou fan, and he was worried like all week about this game. He thought it was gonna get blown up by 30. So I guess if there are moral wins or moral victories, I think Mizzou got one. I think that kind of pushed Georgia down to number 2 from what I've seen now. And
are we number 2?
Yeah, Alabama has leapfrogged y'all number 1. But to go back to my Florida State, my boys were sloppy. They were sloppy all game, man, and just careless with the ball. And if you can't play that against a good team, man. And Wake Forest was a better team than I thought they were. I'll tell you that much. But that was tough, man. That was a tough loss at home. You want to get those at home. So, but I like what my coach said, man. My coach said, "Hey, you got to put this behind us, man, and get back up on that horse and start fighting again. We're not done." He recognized the mistakes. Those mistakes that can be fixed. The little mental errors here and there that can be tweaked. I think we'll be all right though. OG, what's your thoughts, man? We want to start with Georgia first, or you want to jump on Florida State? No, bro.
Let me jump on Florida State. Something you just said.
Okay, talk to me.
You said that Wake Forest was better than you thought they were. So you didn't see Wake Forest play Clemson?
I did. That was another sloppy game. Remember, I did see him play them though.
So you didn't think they were deserving of the ranking when they came in to play Florida State?
Honestly, I didn't. I thought maybe Clemson was a little. You remember, I always thought Clemson was ranked a little higher than I thought they should have been. So, but playing against them, man, maybe they are for real. So.
And I don't know. I don't know if the top teams are now, I guess, being exposed a little bit, or whether they. Well, I guess when you do top teams, you always got that target on your back. Mm-hmm. So everybody you play is always going to bring their best game to try to upset number 1.
That's true.
And I think that's just what happened with Missouri and with Georgia. I don't think Georgia overlooked them. I think Missouri just came out with that mentality that we want to try to knock off number 1. Yeah. Like you said, gave them we don't think they never beat the number 1 team. So they had that playing at home and standing the game as long as they did. That just kept giving them that encouragement. Hey, we here, we can compete with these guys.
Mm-hmm. I heard one guy said they threw a haymaker first, and then you know how you get punched in the mouth first. You got to wake up like, hey, this little dude's serious,
Right.
So,
right.
So, yeah. Now I'm gonna say this here. I go back and double down on Charlie on this for your Florida State. Now remember what we said last week. Y'all finna start a downhill. I mean, I ain't say downhill. Yeah. Uphill slope. Yeah, y'all got a battle coming. Y'all got NC State next.
Right.
They rank 14th.
Right.
Then y'all got Clemson. Y'all got a Carolina. Y'all got to go down. What is that? 20 and hit 85 or whatever it is. But y'all got to go through the Carolinas, and y'all that's gonna be another tough road to hold. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
What do you think about
that? That like you said, man. This is going to determine where you are. We'll know what the Seminoles are, man, after this the media they schedule. Mm-hmm. And so it's not. It started off rough, but you know that's how you determine or find out the character of your team. It's not after a win. It's after a loss, and we'll be able to see the character of our team after this loss, man. So I think we'll come back strong and play better. Definitely play better than we did last night.
Okay. Cool.
So you still saying y'all a playoff contender?
Yeah, I still say it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I still say it. We're not 1 and 2. Maybe not even 3. But I think for that 4th spot, I think you got people in there that we can fight with.
You mean in the college playoffs?
Yeah, in the college playoffs.
For real?
Yeah.
You think this Florida State team got one of them 4 spots in the college football playoffs?
I think we can play with anybody that's in that 4th spot right now.
So fourth spot is Michigan.
Is Michigan?
Yeah.
I think we can play with Michigan. Who's 3? Who's 3? I thought Michigan was 3.
Ohio State, unless they change it this week.
Okay.
So the ranking standing right now, let me see. I was just looking at it, and I hate it when I always feel like when Georgia, we had one bad game, because remember, Alabama wasn't always strong every game, you know what I mean? But it's like if they have one slack game, they what's wrong with you? What?
I put all these doggone the scores on the what we call it.
What?
Oh no, that's what I was doing around this time, typing the scores in so I can have it go across the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I let Trevor in, it all went away.
So you gotta do it again.
I had just did the last one. Dang it.
So it went away because of me?
No.
So your top 5 right now is Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson. And you're telling me that this Florida State team of yours can mismatch in that top 5 right now?
Yeah, I think not top 5. Top. I will stop at like 4 and 5. I wouldn't go to the 3.
I just added Clemson because they're coming down the pipe for them.
Yeah. I think we're in between that 4 and whatever 14 mark we are. Well, we had 22, I think it was, but okay. I think we covered anyone now. That's what I'm saying.
So the top 10. So when I say that, I say the top 10 right now, they're all 5-0. You know, well, with the exception of Oklahoma State, Tennessee, but everybody is 5-0.
Uh-huh.
And that's like I said. Rounding up that 10 is Mississippi. Ole Miss, Penn State. You know, USC is in there right now at 5-0. But I get that you're saying that their team is, you know, your squad is strong, but these are some heavy hitters we're talking about here. Y'all hadn't been now from when I was watching your game going back and forth, it had been over 1,500 days that y'all were in a rank, that y'all been ranked. So it's been a while since y'all been ranked. Right. And so not being ranked for that many years or that amount of time, you're telling me that you're ready to go and get in that AP top 10, somebody in the AP top 10's butt right now?
Not right now. No, it's gonna take some time for us to get in there. But I think we can play with them players? Yeah, them teams. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think we can play with them teams.
I mean, you talking about win? You talking about win? We can all play with them.
Yeah, I'm confused now.
Yeah, I'm not trying. I'm trying to tell you, in the end, we're gonna be right there in that race. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. To get in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. Y'all trying to make it more difficult than it is.
You
making it difficult. One minute you say you're gonna be in there at number 4. Next minute you saying you're gonna be in there in the top 10. So is it number 4 or is it the top 10?
Oh no, we're gonna be fighting for the playoff race. That's what I've been saying all this time.
Are you serious? You hear what you're saying, brother?
Hey, y'all ain't gotta believe it. Y'all don't have to believe it.
All you gotta do is take another L and y'all done. And you got two, like I said, you got some Carolina people that's got something to say to you, big homie.
Look, we got something to say back. They don't talk to themselves. We talking back.
You gotta go North Carolina, then South Carolina. gotta make it. You gotta make it out. You gotta make it out alive, big homie.
Hey, we're not worried about all that, dog.
Hey, okay.
What they say, man? They put their pants on one leg at a time, like I do.
Depending on what kind of pants it is. You got those things gonna be jumping on your butt, you know. I feel you. Well, let's see what it do. Well, you know what's gonna be crazy? No, like for the past couple of years, Clemson has been the only ACC team that has been in discussion with, you know, the national title, right? It's been a while since y'all have had that, because y'all in ACC, right? It is. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that we, you know, okay.
All right. That ACC representing right now, and they got what? They got four in the top 25.
Oh, 4 in top 25. Okay, I can go. So
4. Wake Forest, Clemson,
NC State, and
Syracuse in there.
Syracuse is 22.
22. Okay, so we got
So where's Florida State at now?
They out.
We out.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you lost.
LSU.
They got a loss.
You lost. It was on 22 or 23, and you lost.
But we lost to the 22 team.
Yeah, right. But so Mississippi State, Cincinnati, LSU,
22 team.
Yeah.
So you out.
You out of there.
I see you later. Yeah, it's okay.
College football, man.
Who's in there now? Who's in there?
LSU got 25 at 4-1. Cincinnati 4-1.
We beat LSU.
Okay, but they on a 4-game win streak at that point.
Go ahead.
So Cincinnati, Mississippi State, Syracuse, Washington is at 4-1 because they just took their first L. And
so
Kansas,
something ain't right.
Kansas is now 19.
So did we. We just took our first L.
Huh?
We just took our first L.
But y'all ain't played nobody. Y'all were weak though.
Who did you said Washington?
Yeah.
Who did they lose to?
Who they just
lose to?
They just lost to UCLA. 40-32.
What is UCLA ranked?
They're not ranked.
They weren't.
And they still in. See what I'm talking about? This ain't right. But I mean, well, I'll let y'all have that.
You just said UCLA not ranked. Did they not?
And they moved up.
Yeah, they moved up to UCLA.
They lost UCLA and they moved up into the top 25.
But UCLA is 5-0 though. You know,
we lost to a ranked team and moved out. They lost to a ranked team, unranked team, and moved in.
Yeah, that's
what he just said. UCLA is 5-0,
but they weren't ranked.
Yeah, they moved up. They moved up.
So you meant they beat an unranked team?
No, Washington lost to them. Yeah. 7:30.
I'm confused now.
So Washington lost to UCLA, who was undefeated, but they weren't ranked.
No, Washington. Wait a minute. They said Washington is 5-0 right now. I'm sorry. UCLA is 5-0. What are you saying, G?
So Washington moved up in the top 25, right?
Yeah.
But
were they already in the top 25?
Washington was ranked. They were 18th when they played Stanford. Then they were 15th when they played UCLA.
Okay.
So they dropped down.
They dropped down. Okay. They dropped down.
So you all right now?
They should be out of it then, basically.
Hey, you want them out?
They lost to a team who wasn't ranked. We lost to a team that was ranked in the top 25.
So they started the season out. They played Kent State,
3 points or whatever it was.
Portland State. Then they beat Michigan State, who was ranked 11 at the time. Then they beat Stanford, that wasn't ranked at the time. Then they just lost to UCLA.
We beat ranked teams too. We beat Louisville, who was ranked. We beat LSU, who was ranked when we played them. Like, come on, man. Don't do us like that. Come on now.
I just don't think they think the strength of y'all schedule deserve to be in the top 25.
Right,
that's why I'm asking you the questions that I'm asking you now. Because y'all ain't even ranked now, but then you saying y'all finna run through South and North Carolina like it ain't no tomorrow.
That's what we got to do, man. We got to do what we got to do.
I better do something. I guess what I'm saying is it ain't gonna be easy.
No, it's not easy. It's not gonna be easy. Never said it was. Never said it was.
You got it.
Never said it was, man. Let's welcome my dog, Big Trevor, to the show, man. What's up, big homie?
Take that hat off, good.
Disappointed Trail.
Disappointed Trail. Oh, my fault. I didn't even see it. Disappointed Trail. My bad.
Disappointed Trail.
Take that hat off.
What you got to say, man? Go ahead.
You good, man. I went hard on your cousin when we was at the game because she had that trash on next to me. I made sure everybody do it, but at the same time, you know, I was nice because I ain't gonna lie, it was a stressful game. Y'all had a chance to win, but this is the foul.
Stressful over here.
Yeah. So what happens is, on my way out, I just made sure people knew, hey man, you gonna take that jersey off. Hey, throw the deuces. One dude was walking out with us, and he said he was gonna stay the rest of the week, or he said he was gonna stay 2-3 more days. He said he's gonna straight to the airport. Don't hold that pin. I was not mean to you. I did do something mean stuff because she wanted to hold hands in the stadium. When you don't hold hands and you got that jersey on,
not for the next 3-4 hours.
You feel me? So two people that saw us, I kind of snatched away like, hey, no. So she was saying I was trying to be mean, but listen, I missed almost the first quarter trying to get chicken wings. That wasn't even all that good.
No.
I was very cordial.
I mean, listen, we can hit on the game when it's time, you know. But I'm gonna leave it at that right now.
Is there any more college games y'all want to jump into?
College. So Alabama's quarterback went down.
Bryce Young.
Yeah. Oh, I got the question for all y'all since we got a complete 4 right now. So I was doing my HBCU, just I like to stay up on it kind of, like Chuck does. So the question came about on one of the SWAC blogs. Shedeur Sanders has just the same amount. Okay, so of the 3 and 4 Heisman Trophy, I don't want to say candidates right now, but the candidates that they got going on the Heisman race, if not better than some of them. This dude is averaging 5 touchdowns a game, rushing for almost 100. Should he be in the top for the Heisman? And as I sat there and thought about it, so it's not about the strength of schedule, it's not about who you're playing against, but these are individual numbers that you're putting up. These are Heisman numbers that he's putting up. Now I get it. I know, like, should he, if he were at a different team, but when they talk about the Heisman, it's the individual with the best stats. Should he be in the consideration for the Heisman? And I want to make sure I got that across. Though he's in the HBCU, but should he be with the talent that they have, or with the numbers that he's putting up?
I don't think he should. I don't think so. I think it does. Competition does matter, and so if you're not really playing the teams that these other schools are playing, I think it does matter. I think you're playing a lot of the reason Deion said he don't even want to put his team against these D1 squads yet. These Alabamas, these LSUs. He doesn't want to throw them out there to get murdered yet. So yeah, I don't think they should be able to. I don't think they should be able to.
Now, but you got to remember though, they did the same thing to what's your quarterback name that ended up getting that died? His girlfriend shot him or mistress shot him. Played for the Titans.
Steve McNair.
Steve McNair.
Yeah, he deserved it at the time. Remember, he was putting up 600 a game and didn't get the nod. Mm-hmm. But so you're telling me that the team has to be the toughest in order for you to be considered Heisman worthy?
I think so. Yeah, I do.
Oh no, he fell for that same trap that I did last year. Or what you mean? What do you mean, Zach?
I think he's talking about something else. I'm late on my post. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, okay.
So y'all waiting on me now?
Yeah. You're waiting on your response. Come
on, Charlie.
I totally absolutely disagree with you, G. Because you can't sit here and tell me that everybody that's ever won the Heisman has played the toughest competition in Division I. They have not. They've always gone by numbers. Now, granted, he is coming from HBCU, so because he's playing for HBCU and Deion chooses not to go play against D1, that means he should be withheld out of that race because of that reason? If it's all based on stats? Because everybody that's won the Heisman hadn't played for a team that's going to the playoffs. Hadn't paid for a team that's going to be a national champion.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with national champion or if you play another team. I just think it's the competition. So who has Jackson State played?
Take that out. Just take that out.
No, you can't
take that out.
Why you can't? Because, like I said, everybody that's won the Heisman. You could tell me that everybody that's won the Heisman has always played against the stiffest competition in D1.
So is the Heisman exclusive to Division I football?
It may be, but it may be, but that's the question. Should it be? Why should it be? Why should it be?
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
So we're throwing out playing against the best prospects in the nation. So I'm not totally disagreeing with what y'all are saying. There's a difference between saying he should at least be in the race versus what Corey started out by saying, just take out strength of schedule. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
What I'm saying.
So if it is considered, I said what Corey started out saying. He just said that. He said just forget about the strength of schedule. You can't do that at all.
Well, what I'm saying is when they brought this up last time, the last candidate, it was in '95 when Steve McNair got drafted, right? Mm-hmm. And the numbers he put up versus the ones that went ahead of him, which we all know. Like, so I'm trying to pull up the NFL draft now, the '95 NFL draft. He was, if not good, or just as good as the NFL quarterbacks that they claim were elite. But what I'm saying to you is when they were talking about the Heisman is supposed to be the best college athlete, per that position, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that it should do a Sanders, I guess like I guess what James Brown said, Sanders is a top tier athlete. So should he be considered? Because he is a top tier athlete. You know what I'm saying? And to average 5 to 6 touchdowns a game plus 100 yards, that's not to be, shunned upon. That's all I'm saying.
No, but at the same time, I think there's a couple of different things that you have to consider here. And if we're going to go back historically on Heisman winners, not every Heisman winning quarterback has been these successful NFL quarterbacks as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in recent memory, Baker Mayfield, Mariota, he isn't with the same team he got drafted by. Manziel, it doesn't always go to the person that is going to translate to the professional world the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they do a good job in considering the best players. And it's not only just quarterbacks, to be fair. Quarterbacks win it the most. Mm-hmm. It's not just quarterbacks.
Right.
But I think they do a fairly decent job in considering who these guys are playing in the competition that they go up against, and then also considering the stats. I'm not saying he shouldn't be out of consideration. I think that's kind of two different arguments there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that was my point. My point is I think he should be in consideration. I know Zach put up this comment about it's strictly D1, but my question is, should it be strictly D1? If we're going by talent and everything when we go about the Heisman race, should it be strictly D1? That's another question we should be talking about.
Yeah. But if you're not playing against the top competition, I think that's where the issue becomes.
So qualified top.
The
power. Wait. I feel like with saying it is only D1, we still have to acknowledge that all NCAA players can get it. It doesn't matter. But it's obvious that the strength of schedule is taken into consideration when only D1 players have won this award.
And that's my question. Should that be? Is that the way it should be?
I think so. I think it should. I think that's the way it should be.
Why?
No, what do you mean the way it should be? The way it is that any NCAA player can win this award. And your strength of your competition is taken to account in getting that award.
I guess.
So if it just so happens that you're a D2 athlete and you're doing spectacularly, well, they say, well, if you're playing North Carolina Community College, you don't deserve that versus a team that is full of 3, 4, 5 stars up and down. They got 4 stars on the bench, 3 stars on their bench.
Right.
If their 5-star goes down, they got a 4-star to come in after him. That's different, I feel like.
So check the game. So the Heisman quota hit, it have one criteria. It says here, officially, you need to be the best football player in the country as determined by an electoral staff of 870 voters and 58 former Heisman Trophy winners. You have to, it says simply as that. You just have to be the best player in the country. So what they'll do is generally say they'll choose 4 from different positions, but you just have to be the best at your position. Best player in football. You know, so but then like I said, what they'll do, like you said, if it's a running back here, a defensive lineman, or kickoff return, wide receiver, whatever it is, you have to be the best consistently, in the country. Now, if Shedeur shows that he is the best at his position, and his numbers show, let's say, just as good as your guy at Ohio State or my man at Alabama, should he not be considered? Is what I'm asking. I mean, do y'all feel like because it's Jackson State that it shouldn't be, because it's HBCU that it shouldn't be? I think he should. At least that's how I feel. But I guess, is it fair at this point? Because I think 2 of us are saying yes and 2 of y'all are saying no. Is this fair to Shedeur Sanders?
And it's not like, and I guess the other thing too, it's not like that he's not the caliber athlete that could go and play at a quote unquote Division I. But Trevor made a valid point. Technically, they are Division I. You just got FBS and FCS. Yeah. So he has the talent and the caliber where he got recruited by the quote unquote Division I schools. He just chose not to go. I can't remember. It was one of the Florida teams, not to go to one of those Florida teams and go to Jackson State. So my thing is, they would never give it to an HBCU player for whatever reason, even though some of the HBCU players may be standing out and strength of schedule, they take into consideration what the case may be. Only thing I'm saying is, if they have the stats and playing as well, even if they don't win it, they should be mentioned or talked about and not just overlooked. That's my point.
So I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
So they have division, they got a D1, D2, 3, and 4. They're all division. Like I said, it's sort of like high school, 1A, 2A, 3A. So, I get what they said, the talent caliber and strength of schedule, needs to be put in place. But the Heisman has never said that. They didn't say that you got to be in the SEC or the Pac-10, Big Ten. They just said the best player in the country at that position. Now, like I said, if he were, like I said, we know he's a good player, and he decided to go down to Jackson State. Yes, it's sort of like if the quarterback from Alabama went to Tuskegee. Of course he's gonna ball out because his skill level is much better, which is what we see from Shedeur Sanders. You can put it there better than your average SWAC quarterback. But what I'm saying to you is, is it fair?
Yeah,
I guess that's what I'm asking.
I like having this conversation still, because what it boils down to ultimately is this progression in HBCUs culture in their sports and the economy that surrounds HBCUs. And it's a fair argument to have, because when we're talking about the most prestigious awards that college athletes get, it has to boil down to how these HBCUs are funded, the coverage that they get, the competition that they play, and then it all the way down to the likelihood that top prospects and recruits want to come play for them. And eventually, that's how all of them come up. And then they have, if they're whatever their conferences are, they play against better competition, or they play against FBS competition, considerably the best. But if we're going to still talk about these prestigious awards that are given out to the best players, you pointed out the criteria. That sounds like a very subjective criteria to have, because if you're going to say was 830 some people plus the Heisman winners, they also get a vote. That's a lot of people and a lot of subjectivity that goes into it. And there's going to be a lot of history behind that subjectivity as well.
Let me throw this last one out at y'all. I guess, like, you know, we're playing like a tennis type game. I'm gonna throw this back at you, or hit this back at you. So Hunter, the number one prospect, DB prospect in the country, is at Jackson State now, and true to his name, has yet to have a touchdown scored on him, and you know he has on his squad the least amount of catches thrown his way. Does that make it, like you said, these D1 prospects that come, you know, from high school into college that are supposed to play at, you know, these prestigious, you know, conferences, he's still a good player at Jackson State, you know, and like they were saying, learning under, if not the best, the greatest DB that ever, you know, laced them up. You know, I mean, do they have a point here? I'm still the number one prospect. I'm still playing the game that I was supposed to play. I'm still shutting them down on this left side. You're not throwing my way. No matter what team comes my way, you know, when you lace up against me, I'm going to either hit it away from, or you're not getting away from me. If that team still has top tier quality players, should they still be, you know, considered? I was supposed to be at maybe a D1 school, but I chose Division II, Division III, maybe, you know, or D3. How do we fix
it? That's a great point.
I think we fix it by what Dion said, and what Trevor touched on a little bit too, and that's equal the playing field, meaning that we had to give more support to the HBCUs, give them more TV time, because I guess a lot of the problem is that a lot of these people that's voting, they don't go look at stats. Come on, let's be honest. They go by what they see on TV, the players they see on TV. So I think that, like Dion's trying to do, it, we level the playing field and give the HBCUs the funding, the more TV time, and those type of things, then it will kind of level things out and give them more exposure than what they're getting right now.
And would playing better competition bring that up, since they are getting a top 5 or top number 1 prospect in the country when Travis Hunter, they're bringing these top players. Now let's put them up against the best players. Then you start getting more, but I think it's going to come with time, though, right? That's going to come.
It's going to become a time, but but again, it's like it's about equaling the playing field. You know, this what happened with Travis Hunter going to Jackson State was the first time ever happening. So things are starting to happen. There's been some other athletes, 4-star, that decided they wanted to go to HBCUs. So it's starting to trend that way. But just because it's starting to trend that way don't mean they are ready to go and play the Alabamas and the Georgias. But if it keeps trending that way and the playing field starts equally and they get the same type of backing and funding that your bigger schools do, then we'll see that happen.
Okay. And I like what Dion has done. Like, I think he said what he did was, you know, I guess you have to sort of like put in an application. He requested for, again, what is it? Your North Dakota states, your San Diego states, you know, the ones that are supposed to be like a tier above them. Maybe 2, you know, because like I said, sometimes, like you said, you'll get a Southern up against LSU and they're going to get creamed. But what he's doing is that like I said, if he's D3, you know, he's asking for a D2 team, you know, maybe 1 or 2, as opposed to having to go all the way up to D1 and getting smashed by Ole Miss or Mississippi in that same state. But I think he's going, you know, like, I ain't saying in baby steps, but like he was saying, I'm not going to go against Alabama. I know we're going to get creamed. He said, but if we do, that's why he was saying, I need $1 million because I got to go back to this player and say, hey, Galen, you still good, man, you know, but I got to build him back up after he just got beat down by what's supposed to be the best. Now, like he was saying, I'm giving up on my offensive line against, let's say, or his offensive line versus Alabama's offensive line is giving up about 75 to 100 pounds per player. You know, 6'5" and 340 pounds versus the average line in the SWAC, which is probably 6 feet, maybe 6'2", 300 pounds. So you're giving away a lot. So of course he wouldn't go up against those teams. But it's like you said, the playing field has to be kind of equaled somewhere along the line.
Right. Okay, that's a great conversation, man. Great conversation. Kanisha says money is the final factor. The D1 programs have all the money, better equipment, bigger coaching staffs, all around better resources plus exposure. The athletes will always get the shine. Yes, you're absolutely right on that, Kanisha. And James Brown said, even though he's he's on defense, look at Khalil Mack, who came from the University of Buffalo. So, all right. That's good, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like that. I like that topic, bro. Okay. All right. Let's welcome our new subscribers to the channel, man, to the family. Big DC and Dallas Cowboy Chris, man. Appreciate you rocking with us, my dog. Thanks for the subscription, man. My dog.
Who is DC?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a Dallas Cowboy?
Or is it? I don't know.
District of Columbia. Tell me.
Well, we know Chris is the Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, Chris is.
What was guy from last week that came on hard? What was his name?
It's from Twitch. Was it from Twitch?
I remember he was hot, last Sunday.
Scott, wasn't it?
Scott, yeah. Where you at, boy? Where you at?
Yeah, Scott was good. He was good. All right. Good. Hey, what's up, Big Stanley? My guy said, good evening, Galen. I just bust your head in fancy this week. Just like my Rams gonna put a bully beat down on them Cowgirls next week. I should skip right past that one. Hey, welcome James Brown to the show, A to the Z Media Network. My guy Stanley Moss talking trash. Kanisha Davis, of course. Stanley Carter, what up, big dog? And everybody else is out there, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. All right, let's move on from college football, man. Let's jump into the NFL. And there we go. He jumped back on. He's disappointed for real. Oh, let me see if I can get him back in. Hey, man, great football Sunday, I have to say. What's going on, James Little John? Let's go ahead and start with your Atlanta Falcons, man. The what is it? The rivals at home, man. Hey, the house divided. Cousins and family, y'all butting heads this week, wasn't y'all?
Well, you know what? We were less talkative about football mostly. At least I tried to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted to talk to me about it, even on the way. If my team wins, I'm still gonna be nice to you. Shouldn't do that. Can we talk about it? What I think is gonna happen? I was like,
I was about to say, what was the car ride back like?
The car ride back, I ain't gonna lie to you. Car ride back, we were more or less talking about, did we talk about the game on the way back? We were actually talking about, I ain't gonna lie to you. We said, when I said we got season tickets. So we're seeing a different group of people every week because I guess guys are selling their tickets. I had one guy behind me, man, listen to me. I had to put paper in my ear. He could clap so loud. I'm talking about, it felt like he was banging some books. Pow, pow, pow. Come on. Nothing was happening at the time. And he was yelling, come on, let's go. And I'm like, it's a timeout. Damn it. What are you talking about? And then he was talking to the people around us. What they should do is look, Adjil or Ronald. I said he ain't even out there. You know what I'm saying? So he was talking a whole lot of what else and fantasy. I was just like, I couldn't get into it the way I wanted to, right? Then he started tapping me on the back like he wanted to talk to me. And so my wife, look, he tapping you. I didn't turn around. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't have time for that shit. I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't have time for that because I didn't want to talk to him because he was really obnoxious. Then he spit like 2 times, like. And my wife was like, he's spitting. And I'm like, what are you spitting for? He was spitting, and then he kept drinking. And it was Bud Light. I'm talking about, he was acting like he was just toe back on some Bud Light. And I kept going, dude, you drinking Bud Light. It is not that bad. But yeah, he was tipsy. And so he was just, if you were standing next to him, he'd talk to you. So I couldn't get into it the way I wanted to, but I will say this here. To get back to the game, y'all came in there and there were a lot of Cleveland fans. I ain't gonna lie to you. They, not like the Saints, but there were representation there. Hollering, hooting, doing all that. The best feeling is that walk of shame at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm filming it. Hey, you gotta go home, big homie. Hey, take that shirt off. Or I saw a married couple. They were walking, holding hands, and it was so funny. My man had his head down. I said, "Take him home, honey." She had a Falcons jersey. Take him home. It'll be all right. Cook him something to eat. I talk a lot of trash on the way home. So I didn't talk. I don't talk trash going, but I did say a whole lot to a few people. One lady had on orange. Y'all got the brown and orange, but it was the Bengals uniform. Like it was the It was like the Bengals stripes. I go, you at the wrong game. But I represent the whole city. Get on out of here. Y'all just lost. So I will say this here. Y'all run game was awesome. Bissett, I always say this here. He did enough. He didn't lose the game for y'all. Mm-hmm. I think we were a little lucky, but then I'll give you this right here. Your front four was out. You were missing your front four on your defense. You're missing Clowney. You're missing Garrett. You're missing Walker. You're missing, a bunch of key elements on that front line. That was a plus for me. You know what I'm saying? So they could have went the opposite direction real fast. So, Brown still look good, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Brown still look good.
All right, Trev, man. Disappointed, Trev. From the sounds of it, I don't know who won the game. First. I have no idea who won. Let me hear your point of it.
I was gonna say, man, I was hoping he would come out with some more fire, you know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more obnoxious with it. Because, listen, at the end of the day, like y'all say, man, you win the game. It don't matter what it looked like. You won. And I'm gonna start with the result. This is where I can't say, did the Browns lose or did the Falcons win? The Falcons won that game.
They want to know how you
Falcons won that game. Okay.
The Falcons won that game.
They did.
And I say this because they came out in the second half, and I don't know if it's because I watched this closely. They receivers started dropping balls. Marcus Mariota wasn't that guy. Mm-hmm. It was either they said our receivers are struggling, we're gonna take the ball out of Marcus Mariota's hands, and they just started running the ball, and it just didn't make sense to me how you could go 10 plays, 10 runs, and go score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't going to bring this up at first. I wasn't going to say, oh, we missing this guy, because I really don't care. The next guy's up, and y'all are professional. Be a professional. But Corey had to point it out. A lot of them plays, I can think of number 96, Elliott. He missed this sack, and it looked like he just loafing. Just looked like he just didn't want to grab Marcus Mariota. Now, granted, the very next play, he came and got a sack. Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, it's looking like we got these professionals flailing their arms all around. I was really disappointed in the defense, man. It looked like we were watching a Saturday afternoon Notre Dame game or something. It was bad. It was bad to watch.
Okay.
I won't bring my cousin in so she can get her point across.
See, I don't know why I'm not so. He normally doesn't bother me, but because they beat us, now he wants me to come.
You were there.
I agree with my cousin, right? Like he's dead on. Also, we did some terrible play calling in the red zone. Like I don't know what was going on. That opening drive right there was the difference between a game going into overtime and us losing the game. Like it was just bad play calling. There was no reason for that. And he'll tell you when he got to the seat, I was like, that was dumb. Like we should not have done that. That was bad play calling. Again, like I said, on the defense, I'm looking at people and I'm like, who is that? Never heard of that person before. Like just our whole defense is still in Cleveland, But to Trevor's credit, though, I will say the Falcons did a much better job of not losing the game. I don't know if I'm gonna give them all the credit like Trevor did and say that they won the game, but they definitely did a lot better at not losing the game, because I don't think the Falcons are as bad as we all thought they were going to be this year. They just are really, really great at blowing it at the end of the game. Now, and today they did not do that.
Now that's true, because that obnoxious dude that was behind, please don't fumble the ball, Mariota. Don't fumble the ball.
And it will happen. It will happen. He like fumbled that snap.
I told you.
Like, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus. The Falcons about to give it back.
And those mistakes might have been a lot more costly with a healthy defense. You know, those mistakes might have been a lot more costly, but. You know, there are no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm not a sore loser. It is what it is. They won. We lost. I still think we're headed to the postseason, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. We need to get it back together, revamp, and do what we need to do going on for the rest of the season.
You know what I felt like, you know what I was happy about right after the game ended? I saw the Steelers lose to the Jets. I saw the Ravens lose to the Bills. I said, you know what? I'm not that disappointed.
Announcing it on the Martin train because it was a bunch of other Cleveland fans, and I was like, everybody, Steelers lost. Everybody, hey, Ravens lost. So I mean, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't great for us, but it wasn't all bad. All right, fellas.
All right.
Yeah, I think considering those things, I mean, it sucks because knowing how tight this division has been recently, it sucks because we need that extra push with games like this, and right. I don't want to throw no more slide shots at saying that, you know, a team like the Falcons, but you know they found themselves in this same position just like we have with even the Rams, and y'all have only lost to the Rams and the Saints, and I didn't like the fact that we had to lean on Brissett to go do hero ball, but like my cousin said, man, the play calling and the coaching was just god awful. I could not understand it one bit.
Well, good. Since y'all did bring up that Buffalo-Baltimore game, man, let's jump into that game. And this weekend has been a game of nail biters. I think majority of the games have come down to the last seconds of the game, you know, the last possessions of the game, or whatever it may be. And the Baltimore Ravens once again blow a lead. They blow a lead. They was up, I want to say 15 to Buffalo, and that Buffalo come back on them as well. Losing at home again. This Buffalo team who without some key players again, they pulled out a dub, man. Josh Allen had a much better game than he had the time before. And my guy Mike, my cousin said they shut him out in the second half. They shut the Ravens out in the second half. My guy Lamar didn't have his best game. I think he only threw for 122 yards, something like that.
122?
Something like that. Yeah, something pretty low.
What did he rush for? Did he rush for anything?
Like 70-some yards.
Yeah, like 70-some yards, something like that.
But that defense, was it Lamar having a bad game or the Bills defense?
I would have to credit the Bills defense to him. I mean,
he threw 2 picks.
Yeah,
1 touchdown, 2 picks, 144 yards passing.
Yeah,
only 70 yards rushing. So
I would have to say the defense. Man. We all had Baltimore actually winning that game, and Buffalo comes back after a tough, after a tough loss against Miami. They come back with a good win in Baltimore. Defense. That defense got them back in it. So that was a great win by them.
Hey, but in that game, what about the decision of the coach to go for it on 4th down though? Instead of kicking the 3-point.
I didn't see that. Who Baltimore's coach?
Yeah.
Harbaugh?
They had 4th down and goal.
Uh-huh.
And instead of kicking the field goal, because it was tied then.
That sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah. Instead of kicking the field goal, he decided to go for the touchdown.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw the press conference, he said that he thought that if he didn't make it and gave the ball back to Buffalo on the 2-yard line, then the defense could hold. But what happened was they threw an interception, so they got the ball back out of the 20, and the defense didn't hold.
So he had the right idea because he didn't think he was gonna hold it.
Right, but he gave him 18 yards more where he thought they were gonna give him, and they didn't hold.
Yeah. Josh Allen played lights out. He played lights out, man. He killed me. I think he had 49 points in one of my fantasy leagues.
Whoa. Wait, how?
I don't know.
They do some kind of crazy point system in some of them.
Some of them, dog.
He only got 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Yeah. That's it.
70 yards rushing and one rushing touchdown.
Josh Allen had 70 yards rushing.
Yeah, man. You know, on these scrambles, the man turned into a fullback.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because he needs to preserve his career. He don't slide, man. He wants to put that big body out there.
He better stop doing that.
My point.
Yeah. 47-30 is what he got. This man
off of this game, or is that including?
No, that's off this game. This man is beating me 250 to 123.
What league that in? What league is that in?
This is the Clash of the Titans. Tight ends.
Oh, this is my league.
Yeah, your league.
Okay.
So in that league, what you got, G? I mean, Core.
It's a quarterback driven league. I think 10 for every 10 or I have to look at it again, but it is quarterback driven. You know what I mean? We had at one point we had 14 people in the league, and so I kind of changed it up a little bit, but yeah.
Josh Jacobs got 46 points.
Dang, man.
Really, about time.
46. How many yards did he have?
Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, good Lord.
144.
144.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
smoke. All right. Hey, the morning game we had Sunday morning in London, Minnesota versus New Orleans. What a game.
Did y'all watch that game?
I did, man.
Got up at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I got up at 9:30, watched it. Then I kind of went to church and came back and watched the rest of it. It was a great game. It was a great game.
My wife went to a tailgate. That's me that's beating him.
She's unbreakable.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Good Lord. Yeah, she's putting it on me.
So it's a point per yard. Okay, that's how I got it set up. Okay.
Per yard for what? Rushing?
Huh?
A point per yard must be period.
Period.
Passing and rushing.
Let me take a look at how I got it set up.
And she ain't even done yet.
Got 200 yards.
She's getting blown out.
That still ain't right.
No.
I don't know how to respond to that.
She doubled up my score.
What was that?
I don't know. Siri
She didn't know how to respond to
that. All right. So, yeah, that was a good game, man. Minnesota wins it at the end. Well, New Orleans kicked a 61-yard field goal to actually try to tie it up. It hit the left bar, came down and hit the middle bar, and then bounced back out.
Wow. 2 chances.
I did see that.
Yeah, 2 chances, man.
That's tough luck, man. I actually saw him hit that 60-yard to tie it up.
Yeah. So it was
60-yard field goals.
Like regular. They put him out there. He hit him.
So check this out. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the like right after halftime, the punters come out first. And they normally just kicking, my man was sitting out there, they how the Falcon logo in the middle.
Yeah.
Boo, Yonku or what Yaku. And the punter. Punter was sitting on the 20, going from the 20 to the end zone. And I'm like, look, they just practice. But now come to game time, they ain't doing none of that. They going out of bounds, it's flipping all the way. Because let me tell you what happened. They opened the top.
Okay.
So it was really windy right in that midsection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that changed the game too. So that's why they came out to try to, just work with the wind to see where it's going. Yeah. Well, that wind changed the whole game.
But also when they're punting, so when they come out there, they punt. They just punt, get the leg warmed up. But in the game, they got stuff set up. So they want to punt to the left, for that's where they send all the protection to go to. So that's why they do that. They kicking over there on purpose.
Yeah, I thought they was sucking during the game. Like, he was just booting them things 80 yards and they sucked.
Next game, man, Seattle, Detroit. This was a high-scoring game. Nobody's playing any defense. I don't really know how much longer they're going to keep Aaron Glenn as their defensive coordinator over there, man.
What are you talking about, Detroit?
Yeah. They defense be getting ate up, dog.
Man, like what I say, they I think they're leading the league and scoring the most points.
Right.
And still lose.
But they also lead.
And they're giving up the most points too. Yeah. Giving up the most.
But they've only scored one more point than they've given up out of all their games.
Wow. So they can score. They just can't stop people from scoring.
They can't stop. They have a pretty prolific offense, man. They have a nice running game. They got some good receivers. Jared Goff is not playing bad. But
crazy.
That's crazy. But their defense is letting them down, man.
Wow.
Their defense is letting them down. What do y'all think about that? Let's give prop to Geno Smith. The journeyman. He may have found him a spot, man, over in Seattle, y'all.
Geno. Let me tell you what I heard. Let me tell you who's sitting out there right now. And Ndamukong Suh is still sitting out there, defense-wise. And somebody had announced that, it'll be a feel-good type situation if the Lions picked him up again. Because that's who he got drafted by, when he first came in the league. But, maybe, like you said, maybe they need some leadership, qualities from a guy, who's won a Super Bowl, who's played at the highest level. I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. He's sitting out there. Nobody picked him up yet, I'm still surprised that he hadn't been picked up by anybody, considering he played with the Bucks last season. Him and Pierre. Well, I think Pierre got picked up finally.
Did he?
I think he did, yeah. But Ndamukong is still sitting out there.
Mm-hmm. OG, what you think about the Detroit team, man, and maybe the possibility of bringing back Ndamukong Suh?
Ndamukong Suh.
I guess I'm like Corey. I guess it'd be a feel-good story, but I don't know. Do they really need him? I guess that's the judgment call they had to make. As far as making the feel-good story, do they really need him? Will he be an improvement to the team to help them get over that hump? Let's try to stop teams from scoring. That'd be the judgment call they have to make.
Yeah.
But as far as them getting beat, I'm glad they got beat.
Glad he got beat.
Never mind. I don't know why.
You already know why. That's the only one in they win column.
Hey man, look, that was dry today. I'm glad to get beat. Now go waste time.
Yeah. Tennessee with 2 in a row. They beat up on Indy. And Henry, he's getting back on track. And Matt Ryan tried to make a game out of it towards the end. They fell a little short, falling 24-17. Chicago, New York Giants, man, they had a wild play at the end of the game to try to keep that game alive. The Giants bounced back after the loss last week and come up with a win. They are now 3-1. And Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm impressed with what they're doing over there. Even though they lost to Philly, they're 2-2. Philly is the only undefeated team in the league right now. Is Philly for real, y'all?
I was just about to ask y'all that.
Let's go, OG.
I don't know. Based on what they're doing and how they're playing, they for real. I guess I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of that Jaguars game. They were down 14-0.
Yeah.
So I said it's Philly about to get upset today.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They are for real. You have to say they're for real until somebody beat them. Like you said, the only undefeated team in the league right now.
I didn't realize how sort of backloaded their schedule is, but they look like they got the easiest schedule.
They do.
No, don't go there. Not with them. Don't go there yet. Not Trevor.
Go look at their schedule.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Go look at their schedule.
Real quick then. Okay. So next up, they got the Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans. Yeah, they do. Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans. That's just a few, So it does. It is. You're right. Continue.
And who they played so far and who they're gonna end up playing.
Yeah,
I'm looking at their schedule like, man,
they can run the table. They can run the
table.
I believe when we went over their schedule, I think we had them up there like 12-5, 13-4, or something. We had them pretty high because of their schedule.
I'm glad they acting on it.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing well on both sides of the ball. And like the OG said, man, they fell short early. 14-zip, fell down 14-zip early. And before you knew it, man, they was back up. They was back tied, 14-14, just that quick. So they scoring bunches, and and then their defense, steps up when they need to. So
I'll be straight when I look at this, the next 6 that's coming down. So like I said, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts. I see 5-1.
So who they gonna lose to?
Said Cowboys.
I give Cowboys gonna be their toughest one. I think if anybody has a chance with this in that 6, it'll be the Cowboys. I wish I could say different for any other team, but I'm just being honest from what we're seeing.
I guess. Me and you will never agree.
What?
You give out way too many flowers. I get Chuck credit, man, because he gonna stick to it, man. He gonna stick to it.
You give out way too many flowers, Corey.
He ain't even flowers. He's just trying to be realistic.
I'm just trying to be
no flowers.
I see them beating the Cardinals. Now, and like I said, the boys are 3-1 at full strength. They got a chance. So I give them that game. You know what I mean? The Steelers don't look good. The Texans, they 0-3-1. I mean, the Commanders, they got a chance, but come on, man, be for real. Right now, you had to show me that y'all,
Hold on. You can't say it. You can't say Commanders. Y'all got a chance, but be for real.
Everybody got a chance, but I'm just saying, come on, man. Hopefully by that time, if y'all 4-4 by the time you get there, okay, now I'm like, you know what, Commanders been looking good,
Just move on, Corey.
So that's why I was saying 5-1. They man, if they end up beating the boys, then this next 6 is gonna be. They can probably go 10-0.
Oh, all right. So, Ronnie says, "Do the Falcons look good?"
Use better.
They look better.
Better.
All right, yeah. That's all you gotta say. That's it. Don't say nothing else, Corey. Don't you go downhill. Be right there.
We're gonna kick Steelers' ass. We look better than y'all. Listen, better than Steelers. And we and our record shows it too.
Speaking of the Steelers,
right?
The New York Jets. Hey, great segue. New York Jets come into town with.
And that ain't never happened, right? They ain't never happened with the Steelers.
No. And they come out with a win at the end.
This is the question. This is the question. Can this be Tomlin's first losing season?
Yes.
So
yes.
He said yes. Yes.
Their quarterback situation is
they pulled the trigger on Mitchell Trubisky. That's it. I think it's Kenny Pickett time now. It's Kenny Pickett time now.
Pickett.
Yeah, it's Kenny Pickett time now. I can see that. I can see that. I think when we went over their schedule, I thought we said that anyway. Like we didn't. even Rodney didn't think they was going to have a great season. I think he had them 8-9 or 9-8. He might have had 9. He might have had 9.
Look where they at right now. They got the Bills next. They got the Buccaneers. They got the Dolphins. They got the Eagles after that. I ain't complaining though. You know what I mean? I ain't complaining.
Yeah, dang. Yeah, that ain't looking good.
Okay, hold on. Name that 5 again.
Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Eagles, the Saints, the Bengals, the Colts. And then once you get into December, Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Raiders. But your next 3 are the Bills, the Buccaneers, and the Dolphins. Or 4, sorry. Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Eagles.
They might have a chance against old Teddy. With them white gloves on. Teddy white gloves. Teddy Pendergrass with the white gloves on. Teddy Bridgewater.
Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good on Thursday.
He look okay.
Yeah,
he's okay.
He looked good.
Yeah. He looked okay at times. Then he looked like he was up and down.
Only reason I say that is I'm thinking the comparables. Jimmy G coming in, Jacoby Brissett coming in versus his performance coming in mid-game.
Is he doing the job like that though? He's not doing the Jimmy G or Brissett.
What did he end with? I thought he had a good game before that interception, which I don't think was an interception. But he threw 193, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 14 for 23.
Okay, what's that? 14 for 23. What's that?
9 passes.
That
were incomplete.
But it was for what? How many yards?
64%. That's a damn
almost 200. Almost 200 yards. Okay. 193.
64%. That's a
and I say this again. I know it's smoke and mirrors. All 1 touchdown, 1 interception. With an interception that they should have probably challenged.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's go to the Chargers. They get back in the win column, beating up on Houston. Like my boy said, Houston's 0-3-1. But it seems like they fighting hard over there in Houston, man. They just can't get over that hump. The Arizona Cardinals, they beat the Carolina Panthers. How much longer will we see Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback in Carolina?
Who else they got down there?
Who they gonna put in this? Guy got hurt.
Who else they got down there?
Yeah, they go to the 3rd string there.
Didn't they draft somebody?
They might go get Cam Newton again.
They didn't draft nobody because they got Baker Mayfield. They didn't draft no quarterback.
Who's their backup right now? They got a backup.
So he's the 3rd string because the 2nd string got hurt. Remember the guy who's competing with got hurt.
Darden back in the 6th string now.
No, he's hurt. Sam Darnold's hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got somebody else though. But look, the wide receivers, they want out now. They said DJ Moore wants to be traded. Robbie Anderson didn't want him to come anyway. They said they're being asked questions like, what do y'all need to do to get open? Because the guy says he can't see y'all open. There's problems out there in Carolina. The coach is on the hot seat. There's murmurs that the locker room is being lost by him. Nobody listening to the coach no more. So the coach gonna have to make a decision, either me or Baker Mayfield. One of them got to take the hit.
Is it Baker? They don't like Baker over there now either.
Again, so it's PJ Walker. That's the backup right now.
They might want to go ahead and put PJ in. That's that black quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You might want to put PJ in the game.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, it ain't looking good. He's playing bad.
Baker,
yeah, boy. I don't know if he's drunk but it's like every pass he throws, he's getting batted down, or it's too high, or it's too low. It's never right on the money. Like it's looking bad out there.
Cleveland knew something that we didn't know. They just didn't say nothing. We just finna pay for this dude, and you get it. Like you understand?
I don't know if I'm gonna look at it. At least like they lost a close game to the Browns. They lost a close game to the Giants. I mean, you're paid to get them over the hump, but if that's what's coming out, if those were the rumors, most of the time they end up being true because he heard that in Cleveland. Then when he left, they basically said, well, he lost the locker room. Nobody believed he was the right leader. You're hearing that again in Carolina, I can't do nothing but believe it. It's coming out the players. So
the defense had a pick six. They scored 16 points.
Are you talking against the Giants?
No, Arizona. The Cardinals, yeah. Defense gave him 7 points. Then got the ball back again, and they fumbled the ball. Like I think it was like a fumble or something. They got the ball back at like the 30. They fumbled the ball, gave right back to Arizona.
Did Baker fumble?
No, he did. He handed it off. The wide receiver fumbled the ball, and it wasn't his fault. But it ain't looking good. They ain't looking good. They ain't looking good when your offense ain't doing them putting up 9 points. They not, they defense is playing hard.
Kind of game. McCaffrey only had 8 rushes and 27 yards.
Yeah.
So McCaffrey did play?
Yeah. He ain't like himself either.
He had 9 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, he hasn't passed it too. Yeah. That's the only throws that he seems to make. The pass is right outside the backfield because he can see him right here. But yeah, I don't know, man. They looking good. But the game.
So wait a minute. So right now the Panthers are 1-26 under Matt Rule.
1-26.
That's what they said.
I think they're more than one game.
That sound right.
That don't sound right.
Yeah, he didn't go 0-16 last year. Or 17.
It's on. I don't know. It's on. I'm looking at it on Twitter on the Tom Pelleresi. It said the Panthers are now 1-26 under Matt Rule. Oh, I'm sorry. When the opponent scores at least 17 points.
Okay.
I gotta keep reading. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So when they playing somebody,
when somebody scores more than 17 points.
Yeah, when the opponent scores at least 17 points.
That ain't nothing.
When they playing a real opponent.
Like he said, 17 points ain't kicking a whole lot of air, but
yeah. My guy James says, who would you take, G? Baker or Kyler Murray? Give me Kyler Murray, dog.
Who is Kyler Murphy?
Give me Kyler Murray, dog.
How you would want Kyler Murray? Okay, in that situation.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. You would want Kyler Murray. You heard that, OG?
What's that?
James, was it James Littlejohn? Asked, he said, who would you want, Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murphy? Kyler Murray. He was asking that to G.
What did he say?
He said Kyler Murray.
Give me Kyler Murray.
What? Right.
What?
Who you taking in? OG.
G said Kyler Murray. Oh, I take Kyler Murray, but G is the one that's a Kyler Murray basher.
Right. He ain't said nothing good about that boy.
Kyler Murray basher.
Yeah. Nothing good.
Yeah, he don't have nothing to say about it.
Yeah. So the game, man. The We Want Dallas game, man. The Washington Dallas week in Washington, and
so you finna that. You gonna make me cuss.
Let me tell you something. My wife, when she saw the clip, she go, Dallas week. I said, don't do that.
I'm gonna do you like you do me. You know what I'm gonna do?
You're gonna ignore me.
No, I'm not gonna ignore you. I'm gonna say, well, people, it's been a great show. Show's been cut short. We're only supposed to be here for about an hour or so.
I know, right?
I wanna thank everybody for joining. And we appreciate you being here. We'll see you on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And thank you and have a great night.
I know, right? There you go.
Disappear that.
What?
OG. No, he didn't.
He ain't lying either.
He took off for real. Look.
Is he coming back? Is him?
Where my camera at?
He didn't turn the light on us. He did.
Well, my camera ain't working.
I'm gonna say, look, he came back and hit you with the back
lights
screen.
in.
Hey,
My camera won't come up.
well, come up, huh?
Probably had to rejoin.
No, don't worry about it. He said it's just like that. That's how y'all look today anyway.
No, I need to bring my camera up because see, we've been to start something right now. Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming to be.
I'm coming back. Yeah. Let me tell you something.
That's how they look, G.
Yeah, let me log out. Let me log back in. Y'all gonna be
Blank
good.
screen. There's a blank screen out there.
What's it? That's how y'all. Blank billboard. Dang.
Oh man, Cowboys, Washington. Oh man, I can't wait for it to come back because he talked so much trash about what he call him, cement hand, brick. What he call him?
Yeah.
He said, "Hey," he said, "I mean, you got a chance, but be for."
Now, okay, be honest, G. How did the Commanders look today?
Like the Commanders.
He said, like,
Carson Wentz, he'll throw a good pass, but then he'll throw like 15 bad passes. Let me say this though, their offensive line played better. Like he didn't get killed like he did last week. I think we only sacked him twice. But he threw 2 interceptions. He tried Trayvon Diggs again. Trayvon Diggs held McLaurin to 1 catch. I think 6 yards when he was on him.
so
Lord must know. I mean, they don't want me to see my face right.
damn that now.
It won't come up.
The only thing that really was, I agree with Lil John. They black uniform. Their black uniform look hard. That was hard. That was hard. But their defense played well too. But you know they did what they do. Carson Wentz, man, he threw 2 interceptions. Like I said, testing out my guy Trayvon Diggs, who's making his way for one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Yeah, y'all dogged him out last year, and now he's not going after the picks, and now he's just showing he can shut you down. Yeah, put that in the bottom corner for him. That'd be his
so he the best corner in the league now.
I said he's fighting for the best corner in the league. He's playing top-notch football right now, man. But credit to my defense. Our defense is playing well. Our defense is playing well. I think I told you all before, we'll be a top 5 defense this year, and they're living up to that right now. So
let me tell you something. In one of my leagues, somebody dropped Michael Parsons, and I was like, when I saw him on the waiver wire, I was like, this, who in the hell?
Wait a minute now. How you gonna drop Michael Parsons?
Because we got defensive spots.
Yeah, they got defensive players. They just play defensive players.
Yeah,
defensive players in fantasy.
Yeah.
What kind of league y'all got, man?
So what we got set up, just like how you pick a defense, you can pick it. What we do, you can do a defensive lineman, a safety, a cornerback, whatever. Just one person on D, because they actually pick up points. You know what I mean? So, in another league that I'm in, we got a defensive lineman, a safety, and a DB. You can pick one of those 3. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah,
I just implemented it on ours just with one spot, but you got some leagues who go real in depth with fantasy football players. So
yeah. So OG, man, tell me what you thought about the game, big dog.
I thought it was too many penalties called.
Yeah, ton of penalties.
So your boy was 25 for 42. Carson Wentz. Are they having him throw too much?
Well, I think one of the things, and I said this when they played against Philly, offensive line got to do better. Number one. Number two, the thing I didn't understand is when they were doing the no huddle and going to the fast pace, they were being more successful. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, why stop it? Mm-hmm. Why not just keep doing it? But then you want to stop it, you want to go in huddle, whatever the case may be. But I'm not like you, Corey. I don't give out no flowers. Especially somebody I'm playing against, it just ain't gonna happen. And it would never happen for the Cowboys. I go ahead and put that on record. Trevor, you can put that in the way you want to. But
hey, I ain't gonna never do that. Not at all.
And Cooper Rush threw 2 interceptions today too. He just got some penalties called, some good, some bad, but we ain't gonna go there.
You just went there.
And I'm gonna still go there. I think on one of the other shows I said when we go to Dallas, it's hard to beat 16 players, but it is what it is.
I was out there holding like crazy, boy.
Y'all wasn't.
They were holding and scared.
And y'all wasn't.
Y'all were holding and scared out there. Yeah, every time my man get past, that man grab his shoulder pad. No, I'm leaving you, dog. Don't grab onto me now. So.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Rush was. I'm sorry.
What did CeeDee Lamb do? Hands of stone. OG.
He had one good game, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. Don't get happy with that one good game because he's gonna turn around and show his true colors again. Trust me.
So he was 6 targets for 97 yards, 1 TD.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Be happy. Go ahead and be happy now. But he'll turn around. He gonna disappoint you again. Trust me.
So Pete, this out, G. Let me ask you this one. So Cooper Rush, 15 for 27. Mm-hmm. Then I'm looking at Ezekiel Elliott, 19 carries for 49 yards, averaging about 2.5 per carry. Mm-hmm. No TDs, and his longest run was 7 yards. Mm-hmm. Pollard, 8 carries for 6 yards. His longest, mm-hmm. I mean, what are they? They're winning. We see that they're pulling out W's, but from what we've seen out of your two-headed monster with Elliott and Pollard, I mean, where I know this is not the Dallas that you expect to have, but because they did pull out a W. But are there some holes in this offense?
No. So not every time you rush for 27 times, you're gonna get 170 yards. What you want to do is the attempts that matters. The have them for play action. So now they have to respect the run. So what that does is bring them linebackers up. Every time you running that ball, it brings them linebackers close to the line. That's how you get the passes behind them. So not every one of them is going to get you 6-7 yards a carry. We know that. But being consistent with the run is all you want. So I'm okay with that. We ran it 27 times. Anytime we ran it over 25 times, we're winning. That's all I want. I'm okay with that.
Every time y'all run 25 times, y'all go win.
What
you're saying?
We give ourselves a great chance of winning. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Charlie.
It's just surprising how G would say one thing, then you ask me a question, he'll turn around and change it up.
Let me say this then. We are 3-0 when we ran over 25 times.
So that still don't answer my question.
This year, we're 3-0.
So you saying when y'all run 25 times, y'all go win?
We're 3-0.
See, you can't be on my witness stand. I asked you a simple question.
Thank you.
It requires a yes. It requires a yes or no answer.
It's called balance.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you a simple question. It requires a simple yes or no answer.
I don't know. Only time will tell.
That's all you gotta say.
But right now we're 3-0 with it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
All right.
Every chicken that got 3 years old and died too.
Hey, boy, your analogies be gangster, boy.
And how do you know a chicken is 3 years old?
What do you eat chicken?
Yeah.
What do you think happened to him? What do you think happened to him?
At 3?
They died.
At 3?
At 3.
Yeah, hey.
All right. Is that the age? Is that the limit? The 3-year-old chick? I didn't know that. What happened when the chicken turned 3? They died.
They died. Oh,
go ahead, BG. Damn. Okay. Wait a minute.
I had 3. Okay. Learn something new every day, man. Learn something new every day. Hey, this is barbershop talk at its finest. All right.
Look at he's trying to Google it.
And it's right here saying
very widely, with most hens generally living between 3 and 7 years.
so they start dying at 3, between 3 and 7 years.
The chicken is kept safe from predators and is inhabited. They can certainly live 10 to 12 years.
So if they're not okay, so it says here, without having any genetic issues, they can certainly live to between 10 and 12. That's if there are no predators around like a human being. But they generally say before you eat them, they're generally 3 to 7 years old. Okay.
What's up, Big Mike? Hey, welcome to the show, big dog. This is my dog, my Eagles fan, man. He said the Eagles are legit, 4-0, baby. The Eagles are contenders. Hey, we talked about that earlier, big dog. You right, man. Right now, they're the best team. They're looking like it. They're looking for real on both sides of the ball. This is my TikTok homie.
I'll say that your boy QB is playing with a lot more confidence than he had in the past 2 years. They gave him the keys and they're allowing him to do his thing. So I mean, not bad, man. Not bad.
That's another one that G was on too.
He sure was. We did give him a hard time. Hurt.
Look at it.
Yeah. You get hurt.
I did last year. Yeah.
So real quick, where do you see the NFC East? How do you see it turning up?
They're not as bad as everybody thought it was going to be. I tell you that much. I do see. I still see it being a two horse race between the Eagles and Cowboys. I think they're the two best teams in that division. But that division is not as bad as people make it seem. But we got 2 3-1 teams now. The New York Giants in there. Only team with a losing record right now is the Washington Commanders at 1-3. But I mean that's expected though. People expected the Commanders to be at the bottom, especially
you write your D-mind.
Especially since Chase Young is not there for the first 4 games, right? So we all expected that. My guy Curtis, man, New York Giants fan, congratulations on your win, big dog. He says AJ Brown helps them out a lot with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I know. Well, most of us thought the Washington football team, Commanders, would be at the bottom.
See, there you go, them pipe shots again. There you go again.
But
now you just said Commanders, then you gonna turn right around and next sentence say team. It's just disrespectful, man.
You do keep it.
That's what we start calling the Cowboys the Cowgirls.
You do that. That's what you do. That's what you do.
I don't do that.
Carson Wentz is just garbage. That's what Michael says, and I might have to agree with you on that. But yeah, so I think the NFC East is gonna be.
Wait! Stop doing it. You throw that shot and you try to keep it moving. You do a great job in that. Man. Listen, stop doing that.
Right. Well. I'm gonna give it. So don't worry about it. I'm gonna give it. Trust me.
It's like and he transitioned so fast with it too. It's like
y'all are bad, man. I just be trying to go on with the show, and then y'all be bringing this stuff up, man.
You've been working on that pretty good though.
You put a comment on the screen and then said, "You trying to move on?"
No, this NFC East is not a walkover this year. So just to answer your question, disappointed Trev. It's not a walkover. So, yep. All right. Curtis, don't fall into the trap, dog. Don't fall into the trap of Trev and Corey, man.
Yes.
Don't do it, dog. Don't do it. Before we get off, man, we have to touch on this Tua situation in Miami. They fired the physician, the doctor, the NFL doctor, who allowed him to come back in the game on Sunday. They said it was his back, not his head. Everybody in the world, everybody who has a TV, saw Tua that day and thought he had a concussion. There's only 2 people out there that didn't, and that's Mike Daniels and James Littlejohn.
And apparently the doctor.
And apparently the doctor. So 3 people. Give me your thoughts on this, man. It's about player safety. I don't think they did a good job. And then throwing him back out there on Thursday night for him to get another concussion. Tell me what y'all think, man, and what do y'all think should have been done? Or it should something be done to Miami?
Who's going?
Go ahead, Trev.
Now that we've been able to sit on it for a weekend and sift through everything, and I've seen multiple takes on this, and a lot of them I agree with. I really don't have any opposition to what a lot of people have felt. I don't want to say very emotional about it, but been kind of passionate responses to it because looking at it in real time, everybody felt like something was wrong on Sunday. I will say I appreciate a lot of commentators pointing out their own, I guess, responsibility in moving on from it so fast because to a lot of the points they brought up, everybody moved on really fast. Because of the big comeback win, because he got back out there and they won the game. And it was like, well, it is what it is. He came back out. He played fine. He did his job. And it wasn't until Thursday. And I have a clear memory of you guys saying, or at least G, like joking about it on Wednesday. I was going back and looking at y'all's footage. He's like, man, dude looked punch drunk out there. Those are your words, verbatim. Said dude out there like he had a night out, punch drunk. And then for that to happen the very next night, and not only that, I saw a tweet from a guy who, a former player or somebody. He has a foundation with like Concussion Foundation or something. He tweeted before the game. He said if something happens to Tua again, okay, fair warning, this is his words. He said if he goes in there and he dies, I'd say that there should be a murder charge. Before the game, he tweeted that out.
Wow.
And then we saw what happened. I don't like how, yes, we should find out who's responsible for it, but it became like a witch hunt almost. It's like who do we place the blame on the most? And
Scapegoat.
Like let's take out our pitchforks. Let's go find this person. There was multiple entities. I'm gonna hit on some more points, but I want to bring in anybody else that wants to touch on it too, because it's a lot to it, man. It's not so many layers to this issue. I think the league has done a better job with it over the years, but they mishandled that entirely.
Tyler. Corey?
All right. So I did a small little bit of research on this, and I'm a little conflicted. So 12 years ago, the players voted on what they call UNC, and they're called unaffiliated neurotrauma consultants that have nothing to do with the league. So they brought these people in that were supposedly these people were not affected by the league, by the owners, by the teams. When they go, listen, I need Galen back in the game. These were unaffiliated neurotrauma consultants that didn't have any stake in if a player came in or out. They came in, they did the evaluation, and they would give their honest opinion on if a player should be in or out. I think this particular doctor that they fired he leaned more on Tua's ability to say, I can play, versus, hey, man, you just got, boom, good head trauma. Right. How you feel out there? What's your name? And whether it was a mild concussion, heavy concussion, it was enough to where they felt like Tua, because he came back in the second half and finished the game. But he did get concussed, or on light of it, how they say, you got what they call it, a stinger. He had a blow, and either he shouldn't have finished that game, but 4 days later, he gets slung to the ground like a rag doll by, I think number 58, whatever his number was, and it banged. When you throw up the game signs, because we knew that, we were like, oh man, this don't look good. He shouldn't play the rest of the season. But I'm gonna say this, I think that doctor, I don't know if he was coerced into saying, he's okay, because Tua has had a rough go of it the last 2 seasons. They've been wanting this guy to play. They were tough on him in Miami. I don't know if he was pressured to come back in, but I know that this was his first opportunity to show that he can play this game. They hadn't done a great job with him on a whole as a Miami Dolphins organization. They came out playing well, but when it came to his health, I think it was more than just the doctor. I'm going to be fair with it. It was more than just the doctor. Tua probably said, listen, I got to get back out there. I'm not saying that the coach, did the same thing, but I'm just saying lately, or just say with the last year, he had been scrutinized really heavy. I think same thing happened with Carson. With Hurts. They too early they scrutinized the guy about his playing ability and what he needed to be able to do because he was a high draft pick. So, but I don't want to see him the rest of the season. Yeah, from a safety standpoint. Right. This is when you have to bring in, like you said, unofficial, people to help out. Yeah, it was supposed to be put in place to do good things, but this time it didn't happen.
Right. OG.
Yeah, I guess y'all have touched on some of the things I was going to say, but me and my brother was talking about this, and granted, I guess some people thought that he had a concussion when the previous game when he got shoved back and he was doing the 2-step, whatever the case may be. But if he did or he didn't, I don't know who would have not taken the hit that he took in his last game and not developed a concussion, whether they had one the week before or not. They still would have had a concussion. The way he was slung down and his head hit the ground and his reaction, whether he had a concussion the previous week or not, he still would have resulted in concussion that night. Now, if he had one the week before, it should have been in protocol. It may have compounded the issue. Right. But I think he still would have resulted in one, regardless of what happened the week before. And I know Kanisha made a valid point. I just hope that if he does come back, that he ventures out, he gets all the examination, everything he needs to do to ensure that he can still play the game and not risk his life. Because to me, I know it's a game, it's a sport. They love to play it. We love to watch them see them play it. But your life is more important than any game that you could potentially play, to me.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you, OG. And what Kanisha said, and Corey, man, I don't think he should play the rest of the year. Honestly, man. Anytime, like you said, you have a situation where you get a concussion or possibly concussed in a span of 4 days like that, you don't know what your brain is doing now, and you don't know if, like Kanisha said, another hit will be your last hit. So I wouldn't trust it. Come here. I wouldn't trust it, and I would not want to see him on. I know.
I think I want to stick to that point with Chuck hit on. The problem is that there's such a gray area.
Well,
There's a lot. Say what?
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's a lot of speculation on if like you said that second hit he took would have caused him to be concussed the first time around. And this is from the perspective of the Miami Dolphins, and especially post game with Mike McDaniels saying publicly, I don't think his injury on Sunday has anything to do with his injury on Thursday. So on plain paper, that's them sticking to the script that it was an orthopedic issue that they dealt with.
Right.
The problem is that when you have to consider the hit he took on Sunday, like everybody has been doing, your bruising of the brain happens when you get concussed. So if you get hit in that same exact spot, it's not as if the next player is going to suffer that same sort of response or concussive state. We don't know how that player could react, but it's the fact that he took a first hit like that. We saw his body language, and then he took a second hit in the same exact spot.
Right.
It's gonna make it worse, and it caused his reaction to be even worse. I'm not fully disagreeing with you. It's saying like another player could take that fall and be okay, or they would have reacted the same way. But it's because it was in the same spot. Like we have to take note of that.
Yeah.
Let me share something with y'all real quick. I was looking at TikTok and I saw the interview with Ryan Clark and Tomlin. He said how he ended up ending his career. He said he came in with 2 neuro, surgeons. He said he had a whole team of guys, to kind of represent himself, to talk to Tomlin, and he was like, because he wanted to play, and Ryan Clark had, serious injury. Well, he had serious concussions also in his NFL career. So he said he meets with him, and Tomlin said, you know what? If you were my son, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If you were my child, we would not be having this conversation. He said, when you almost died. He said you were bothered by. He said feeling sluggish. He said you had nausea, you were vomiting, headaches, pressure, confusion. He said everything, were concussion protocol, things that show that you were concussed multiple times. He said, I was not going to let you play. He said, so the best thing I can tell you was I could give you fatherly advice. He said, if you were my child, if I were your son, right, if you were talking to me and you were my son, I would tell you not to play.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and I feel like I know you well enough. He said, I'm looking at you like you're one of my kids. I'm not going to let you go back out there, at least to play for me. Think about your future, son.
Right.
Somebody needs to be in play for Tua, because I ain't gonna lie, my wife was saying that she I don't want to see him play ever again after these 2 concussions. Because then just think about 88 that played for the Broncos. 10 years from now, okay, this is what got me.
Demaryius Thomas.
When you go through a concussion, the coach can come over there and give you a pat on the back and say something good about you on the microphone. We cared about him, blah, blah, blah. But 10 years from now or 15 years from now, where's that coach going to be when you don't have, you can't think, or you got CTE, or when you shoot yourself in the head because you can't take, the pain and pressure anymore? I think Warren Sapp came out and said he worries about himself, driving home sometimes. He said he was going to a party one time and came right back home because he was scared that he was going to get lost going where he was going because he forgot where to go.
He didn't know where he was going.
He said his partner called him like, what happened to you? He said, man, I ain't know where I was going.
He thought he was playing or something, right?
He called his partner, man, where you live at again? And then he laughed like, no, he just come on over. And he turned back around. He thought
he said, I was able to get back home. He said he sat in the parking lot, driveway. I didn't know what was going on. So that CTE, or that concussion protocol, it has to be something better done. Now, let me ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like a number of concussions, after a certain number of concussions in your NFL career, you need to, call it quits, or they need to have, something in place?
I believe so. I believe so. I knew Troy Aikman later on in his career. That's the reason he retired. He started having concussion after concussion after concussion. So, yeah, I think I don't.
They get easier as you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Luke Kuechly for the Panthers. He was the same way.
Same way. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Same way.
Who you talking about?
Was luck like other injuries, body injuries? Was it or was his also concussions?
I think his was other injuries. I think he said he wanted to be able to just play with his children. Like
Nonetheless, another premature retirement.
Right. Patrick Willis, he is another one too.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had this I had one conversation with my pops about Mr. Larry Wright. He pointed it out. I think it might still be up there. Like who is the first line of defense in this case? Mm-hmm. One could argue it's Tua. You know your body. But of course, all of these other implications, the game, money, whatever the case may be, in the moment, you say, I want to get back out there. Some might say he's the first line of defense. I argue it's the team position in that UNC. You're supposed to follow those protocols. Mm-hmm. And then I would say that second line of defense is his team. Everybody else on the sideline, I don't know what happened. I don't know if a spotter didn't see how he looked when he stood up. I don't know if the team physician didn't see how he looked from the sideline because they were too busy. It seemed like the medical staff got out there pretty quick to him. He only took a few steps. Once his offensive lineman grabbed him, you saw that guy in the frame. I'm not sure what the communication was because everything that he showed and what it says in the concussion protocol, it lined up with gross motor instability. Mm-hmm. It lined up with his gross motor instability. You wobbling around. The thing about having that protocol in place is because concussions are such a gray area that it's a no-go. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You don't go back out there because you don't know. And so I saw a video on they tried to determine with what you see in fine print. It says, okay, if they determine it to be neurologically caused, this gross motor instability, that one specific part, which was really determining factor for him going back out there, I feel like, or would have been. Mm-hmm. How do you determine that on the sideline? You can't get a CAT scan.
Yeah, there's a CAT scan, right?
But so, and now the other part of it, when it's actually spelled out, it says if they can rule out, or if they can basically rule out that it happened because of an orthopedic injury, what they came out with, his back, his ankle. Mm-hmm. So there's those issues in the protocol itself, but we can still look to some incompetence by them.
So they found a loophole, basically, is what they did.
That's essentially what it kind of is. Yeah, not saying that there's a because I like to think that these independent people, and I'm talking about my pops about it. He's like, where did this neuro consultant come from? Does he work in Miami? I was like, well, I would assume that it's a person hired by the NFL, and maybe they do it just like the referees. He comes from somewhere else, and you have no interest in the outcome of this game whatsoever.
I think they actually get them from that city.
So and that's what we were trying to figure out.
They get them from each city. They come from that city. And they don't have to pay them for traveling and all that, so they get them from right there. So
and I give you a perfect example of this. Like on Thursday night in boxing. Thursday, I got Friday night boxing. They announced, Luis Quinones, 25-year-old boxer, got knocked out, right? Knockout, but head trauma from the knockout. 5 days later, he died. Mm-hmm. So, man, listen, them head injuries are serious, and just in his case, because of he had severe swelling of the brain, but that knockout that he had, he wasn't able to neurologically come back. You know what I mean? And he ended up passing away. So,
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just about to read what Akanisha said.
I was gonna make a point to that specifically because I'm in the martial arts community and I'm heavy in I'm heavy in watching combat sports. Yeah. Not as much on boxing, but MMA is like my go-to. Y'all don't talk about any MMA. It's cool. I know, like, I go get that content and I'm up to date. I'm watching fights every week. And I have this different perspective. A lot of people in the martial arts community have this different perspective on these very traumatic events when it comes to head trauma. And I was going to relate this to a situation, but I kind of want y'all to like go on that journey with me real quick. I know I don't want it to be too long, but if you want to read what she said.
We already passed that.
Listen. So ultimately it comes down to this. After these big fights, it doesn't matter if a fighter is knocked out. Even if he is knocked out, if he loses by TKO, or even if he wins, if he gets into a what they call like the barn burners, right? He gets into an all-out brawl. Mm-hmm. When you go check those medical suspensions, you get medically suspended. Somebody gets knocked out, you're done for 6 months. You are done for 6 months in a combat sport. And now I can imagine.
What you mean, a referee? Who's done?
The fighter.
The fighter
for 6 months.
The fighter. You could go look at any event, right? You go look at the past pay-per-view or whatever fights that happen. Look at the results. Go look at the medical suspensions from that fight. They will say that you will not get a license to fight for another 6 to and sometimes it can be determined longer, 6 to 8 months. When you get touched like that, when you get hit like that, and you get flatlined, stiff, all of that, you cannot do anything. So when I see these guys in football, I know it's not as common to see a guy go out and he is stiff on the field, but it happens. And I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I try to think, when do these guys come back? How long does it take them to come back? Is it a few weeks? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 4? Right? Especially the positions they play. If you in the trenches, you definitely banging your head up a lot more.
Yeah, look, if they went by that, some of these cats wouldn't come back to play the rest of the season because
of the year. Exactly, that's my point. So when I have this perspective, and I know it's a different sport, but it's like, I don't know what's the way.
I think that's where they need to go, though. If I think you're seeing.
I was like, is that me?
I thought it was me.
Everybody that's playing needs to take the test, but I went out. Okay. Yeah. So not everybody that plays, but I think when you see what we saw on Sunday, the neurological imbalance that Tua had, I think at that point, yes, you need to sit out. And maybe it's not 6 months, but maybe it's a month to get everything back. And instead of a month. If you're like that, they'll people go and they see you get hit and you may not stumble, but they say, "Oh man, he got hit in the head. Let's just go take him," and they'll take him in to see if he's all right. But if you're at the state where he was when he got up and he wobbling and he falls back down and he gets back up again and he's wobbling some more, at that point, if there are players out there like that, then yeah, they need to sit out because that's something up here that's not right. You know what I mean? And it's going to take time for that to get back.
And what the reason why I still feel like it could be likened to combat sports, and what I tried to paint that picture of is even if a guy wins that fight, right? Even if I say go throw a knockout blow and I win the fight, I can stand there and get my hand raised. The medical commission that is in place is still going to look at your fight. And maybe in the middle of that fight, you got rocked, you got knocked down. They're going to say, that's a heavy blow you took. You're medically suspended. Congrats, like you didn't lose any money. You got your pay. You know what I mean? It's not, but you're not going to get a license to fight again for XYZ amount of months. It's the same way. I can get up and I can keep walking, but you're suspended.
Yeah, that's good. All right, fellas, man, we got to end this thing out. We on 2 hours again.
Right. Hey,
this is great topics though. These were topics that I think that needed to be talked about. So, great topics, man. Great topics. Starting with the Shakur Sanders, the Heisman. I'm killing the names. So, and I actually reached out to my cousin Charlie, man, and I asked him about, when you read that they have former Heisman Trophy winners who vote for him too. And I asked him about it, man. Should he be included in that conversation? And he says, why not? But unfortunately, he won't due to where he plays. Is it right? Probably not. But a G League player on a two-way contract can't win the MVP of the NBA. He was playing against, I guess if he was playing against FBS teams and putting up those numbers, it would be a difference. But that will count against him with the votes. If he throws for 5K and 35 to 40 touchdowns, then he might get mentioned.
And that's how we're saying. I think me and OG was on the same page. Yeah. I think we just want him to be considered.
Considered. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Try to help equalize the playing field by just giving them, by recognizing them.
Right.
They may not win it, but at least recognize them and let people know what's going on the HBCU level, on that level.
Right.
Versus not giving them any exposure at all.
Right.
I can talk about this all night, but so we won't go there.
Yeah. No, he also said he can also win the Division II Heisman Trophy. Which
I think that's the Walter Payton Award. I think.
What he said is the equivalent to the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think it's named after Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Is it the Walter Payton? That dude. That's the trophy where the dude got a cape on. That ain't no Heisman.
No, you talking about for the NFL.
I'm just.
You talking about the man of the year? You talking about the man of the year
shows how unfamiliar we are.
You talking about the man of the year award for the NFL?
Okay, I was saying that's the trophy with the cape on.
No, man.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. Episode 40, season 3 in the books, man. Great show, fellas. Great show. Kanisha Davis, Larry Wright, James Littlejohn, Brandon Buchanan, my dog Curtis Vaughn, my guy Mike over on TikTok, Roddy Littlejohn, Zach, my dog. Who else we missing? Oh, Michael Wolf Cuzzo. Then we got my guy Stanley Moss, Stanley Carter, James Brown. Man, I appreciate you continuing to rock with us, my dog. Hey, remember to bring a friend, tell a friend about the crew and you, man. Hey, we love y'all. We'll see y'all at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, baby. Another great show, episode 41.
Knee along. It's going to be okay. Keep your head up.
Hey, hey, Udoka was getting it in, wasn't he, dog?
Hey, listen, we gonna man.
Hey, cut the string.
Hey, we love y'all, baby. We'll see y'all on Wednesday, baby. Keep your head on the swivel, man, and keep God first, baby. We love y'all. We out.
Neil.
Later.